Well, hello, Coin Junkie. Nice to see you, sir. And we are live. I should get the product placement out of the frame. How is everyone doing? Well, everyone. How are you doing tonight, Junkie? Hey, did you ship my pack after that last purchase? Oh, awesome. Good. Because I had that from you, and then I had some more half dollars come in that I'd forgotten about, and some other stuff. So I was like, I like to keep a count of how many 40%ers I have, and I had way more than I thought out there in the ether. Oh, you haven't yet? Yes, please. Yeah, I mean, well, unless you think it's going to be financially feasible, shoot me an email, and let me know if you have anything like that I'm not trying to beat you up, but anything you're trying to get rid of or that you haven't moved, that the kind of stuff I usually buy, and then let me know if there's something that I can try to take off your hands. I had a slab damaged in the mail, and I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that. It's in a room. I can't get to it right now. Kid's sleeping, but it got damaged, and we went through the insurance, and then, they were, again, like jumping through hoops and all this, that, and the other, and so we figured it up like this. It was $50 insurance. Stuff in the pack was worth way more than $50, but if they split the damage up versus the items in the pack, we're looking at maybe a third. So we settled on about $15, and so I got that settled, and I'm happy. Those things happen sometimes, but what is it? It's a clad $50 that's slabbed NGC, but if at first I didn't think too much of it because I was like, oh, it only scans like, it's probably only like a $30 coin or something. No, it scans at like, I think it's closer to like somewhere between 55 and 60. It's been a couple weeks since I scanned it. And the damage isn't like super bad, but it did break the seal. It's no longer airtight. So I got to figure out what I'm going to do with that $50. I have to try to look back and see what I paid for it. So I know I didn't pay what it scans at. And then see if I can maybe drop that 15 off of it and maybe move it on like one of the trade days or something. Give somebody a deal. It's a really nice half clad again, but it's upsetting. That stuff happens, and I'm sure here through the holidays there's going to be plenty of stories of lost packages. That's why I got my big package from Flip today. I got something coming from Shibby Rob. Something coming from you. I think that's about all I have out in the mail. And I think I'm going to calm down on ordering throughout the holiday season, not only because of the prices, but because of all the package thefts. And, dude, I like my postage guy, but, okay, here, I'll show you, Junkie. So, I don't know if you were around, but I had a bunch of stuff in a pack from Flip. Bunch. As is kind of normal. Man, I'm getting like greasy fingerprints all over my boxes. So, I got the gold SLQ and the gold Merc Dime, right? It's close to $1,000 right there. And I had a bunch of other stuff in the pack too. And I came home from being out of town. Now, I have a house sitter, but they were out running errands at the time. And I come home, and that package, Flip's package with all that stuff in it, is just sitting right next to my door. Plain view. My doorstep is maybe 15, 20 feet from the sidewalk. Like it's not safe. And I'm pretty sure, I don't know, I'd have to check with Flip, but I think he put a signature on this. So the dude just forged the signature and dropped it on my doorstep, which is concerning. Yeah. Well, I'm sure Flip insured it, but did he pay for insurance comparable to the value of items in it, right? I mean, is a pretty big pack. So, I know I got you hanging out here, and I appreciate you. You don't have to stay. Don't worry. I'll talk to nobody. I've done it before. But, well, I got you here. You know I bought some stuff from Flip, but I went to Silvertown. It's actually over in the next state over, and I was there working last night. And on my way back, I was like, I'm gonna go stop by Silvertown. I never have. I don't know much about, their shop. I'll go check it out. So I went there, and they have a lot of stuff, a lot of colorized rounds and different things. They have a lot of offerings. But as far as like their cases and all that stuff, I bought a lot. I really did. But I got an 1861. The camera's not going to do a whole lot of justice on this. Half dime with no arrows. Seated Liberty. Half dime. No arrows. I got another one. 1853 half dime. The light's not doing good justice on it with arrows. I got a 3-cent silver, and it's pretty slicked out. I mean, again, camera's not liking this, but yeah, there's not much detail left on it enough to tell what it is. $8 for that. I mean, it's actually, you can still see some lettering on the front. That might be better than the other one. I got a Columbian Expo half, and I asked them, because I have a couple of these now, and this looks dipped to me. Either that or, I mean, it's circulated, you can tell that, but it looks like it's been cleaned. And I asked them, and of course they claim they didn't know. But Columbian Expo half. And then I found this. Now, and again, I don't know what necessarily this does to value, but I found a gold-plated Walker. It's 43. So the whole front is plated gold, and it's a real faint. It's not like a heavy dip. It's more like just probably like an electrolysis plating. But then on the back, they actually went through the trouble of trying to do just the eagle. So that's pretty cool. Reminds me of that one, I don't know if you were there, Flip found a while back in a roll hunt. And it looked like somebody had tried to dig. I think it was the Walker on that one. Was like all encased in gold, and it looked like they were trying to like dig the gold out, assuming that it was all the way through or something. But I got that for like $12. So I picked that up. What else did I pick up from Silvertown? I got. I buy everything, and that's my problem now. As a matter of fact, I've spent thousands in the last... I don't even want to think about it. I've spent tons, and I haven't really focused on stacking that much. I've been buying like some of the oddities and things. Silver coinage and things still. Junk silver. Some bars and bullion. A lot of gold. I've been buying a lot of gold. But I don't know. Right now, the way I kind of figure it is I'm buying stuff so that hopefully later when I go back into like stack mode, or like I don't have the money to spend, I have a bunch of cool stuff that I can look through and whatnot, and then go back to stacking mostly bars and bullion. But I buy a lot of 90%. Yeah, I don't have any of your Canadian. I know you have some Canadian, what, 50%? And I think some Canadian 80%. I'm not opposed to it. I mean, I don't know. The last two fire sales, um, I let stuff go. I mean, especially considering where Spot was, but I let some stuff go on the last couple fire sales, like I really did, and that was on purpose. I'm not complaining. Um, I wanted to put out deals on there so that people could, especially now in hindsight, the first fire sale was great because silver hadn't popped back up like, what is it now, like $1 and something up probably from where it was the first fire sale. And so um, some people got some deals, and that's kind of, I'm sure at some different points I'll sell and I'll be a jerk about prices and try to get what I need out of something. But in that case, I was trying to dollar cost average into some of the gold that I've been buying. Yeah, I gotta figure these out. Figure out where I'm gonna put them. My primary safe is starting to get kind of full, and I have other stuff in other locations, but yeah, hi Flipside. Yeah, there you go. Just talking about the gold. So yeah, maybe when you send me the email, maybe let me know what you got in terms of like, didn't you have some like 50% dimes or something, or am I crazy? I don't know the Canadian stuff, but yeah, send me an email. Just outline a couple of things you have or that you're trying to get rid of, and I'll see if I want to throw anything extra in that pack before we send it out, because through the holidays, I really don't, especially in my current location, I don't think it's safe to be getting big packages. Think about now is closing on my window of safety once we really hit into holiday season. I'm sure people just be driving around stealing packages. But I got some quarters here. I was going to go through those, but since I got you here, I will show you. I bought two of these, and I gave one to my son's mother, who helps me sort through my pennies sometimes, and the light's not going to do it justice. They had reverse proof shield cents at Silvertown. Now, I don't know, I probably paid too much, but I bought a couple of them. I gave me one, and I gave her one. And here's the thing. Oh, Shy Guy, I got something for you. I got something for you. I mean, I don't mean to poke fun at old man Flip, but pretty sure that says "Too Shy Guy" on it. And he accidentally put it in my pack, so I have to check my email. I think he's sending me your information. I hope you don't mind. And I'm sending this, back to its rightful owner, so that's going to be slightly delayed. But yeah, the panda is coming. Oh, Flip's here. So yeah, and this is what I'm talking about. I was in that, who are those Error Coin people? I forget what it's called. It's the Error Coin, like, Q&A that Blue Ridge Silverhound and a couple other people do. And I was in there and somebody showed one of these. God, camera is not going to do it justice. But somebody showed one in there and I was like, oh, that's cool. I actually like that shield scent. Because I hate shield scents. I think they look horrible. But these I actually like. And then I was at Silvertown and I'm looking around and the guys, there wasn't a lot going on. So he's like kind of walking me around and showing me different things. And then we came up on these envelopes, and I was like, oh, what's in the envelopes? And he's like, oh, reverse proof shield scents. And I'm like, what? So I picked up a couple of these. I guess they are actually West Point mint too, so you can't go wrong there. Um, yeah, I don't know about leaving it in this packaging though. I don't feel like that's super safe. I'd rather get it like, I guess probably graded and encapsulated or something better than that. But for now, it sits in here. So Silvertown, all their junk was extremely high to the point to where I didn't buy anything. I got some silver quarters proofs. $30 on that too for 5 of them for them being proofs. That's not really that bad. What else did I get in here? Oh, this was cool. The American Innovation set proofs, but they're, I didn't know this. They're dollars? I thought they were quarters, but I was completely wrong. Apparently they're doing these in dollars now. And the primary reason I bought these, if I can get it there, that one. Here, I gotta turn it on its side. I had no idea. Did you know they made a, oh God, come on camera. It's like Pong. It says player 1 and shows like a little Pong game going. And that's for New Hampshire. Apparently that's where maybe they created it or something. But it's the American Innovation set, and I did not know. I had no idea they weren't quarters. They're dollar coins. And so I picked up a proof set of those. Be very nice if they were silver, but they're not. Still cool, though, to see the dollar coins getting some love. Maybe, you know, it'll get better. Oh, well, now we're starting to get some people in. So the W proof. And then, Junkie, you will like these. I paid. These are not mine. These are going to be a gift for my son's mother, who likes to help me sort pennies. I got the Lincoln set of proofs, graded MS-70 and Annex holders. So, I got a 4-piece set of those. All of them are 70 DCAM, all 4 of the different coins. So I paid $60 for the whole set, but I've not seen a whole set of those anywhere, especially not graded at a 70. So I picked those up. I'm going to give those to her for Christmas. So she's actually starting to build up like a pretty nice run. Oh, well, Flip's late as always, but I should show him that half. Where did I put it? There it is. So, Flip, if you're still around, I found a gold-plated half and I thought of you. And it's like the electrolysis, I'm sure. So it's kind of weak. It's not dipped. And the light just hates me tonight. But on the back, they tried to do just the eagle, which is kind of nice. But on the front, they didn't try so hard, and they just did the whole front. I bought that at Silvertown's shop in Winchester, Indiana today for $12. Not bad. And some other stuff, some half dimes and Columbian Expo and all the other things that I've been showing Junkie and everybody. Hi, Rebecca. It's nice to see you. Well, man, I actually got some people in here. This is surprising. So, yeah, I ran shopping today because I've taken a couple days off work to get my mind straight before the holidays, because holidays are crazy for us. And so I was coming back from Indiana anyway, and I was like, I'm going to stop by and see what's up. And I will say, they engrave while you wait. Like, because you always see these bars and rounds and things from Silvertown and different places. And it's almost never... Where's my... Hold on 2 seconds. Oh. It's almost never engraved. and we know why on some cases, but they will engrave it on site while you wait. Apparently, it only takes a little bit, but there was this upsetting thing. So I'm looking around, I'm seeing all this stuff. I almost bought a colorized shamrock round, like 4-leaf clover, because my birthday, for those of you that don't know, which is all of you, is St. Patrick's Day. So I'm always into shamrocks and stuff. And so I almost bought one, but they wanted God, it was, for the colorized one, I think it was like 50 something. So kind of crazy. But engraving wasn't even included at that $50 price tag, or 50 whatever. It was like another $5 for engraving. And so I passed on that. But then towards the end, I found, imagine engraving rounds, like what we normally see them on the back, but then imagine the front has it's the same, right? I mean, it says 1 ounce AG, 3/9's fine, whatever, but that's it. That's the only writing on this whole thing, and a small pattern around the edge. So they had some of these, so blank on both sides. I mean, it's as close as you could get to a silver planchet or something. And I started asking about those, and I'm like, okay, well, for sure, those got to be, kind of on the lower side. There's not really much to them. I mean, you can get them engraved or whatever, but I said, well, how much do you got those for? They had bars and half ounce bars and rounds and the 1 ounce. And I ran the prices on them. They were just as much as everything else. Now I get it. I wasn't expecting, but the premium was still there. I think they were selling rounds for, I don't want to quote them, but it had to have been I think it was 26 or 27. Because I was thinking about buying a little tin sheet. They didn't have rounds. All they had was bars. Buffalo bars. And I thought about buying a little 10-pack to have them all together. But they wanted, it was almost $300 for 10 ounces. It's crazy. On the prices, at least for me. I haven't been, Flip's been spoiling me on the deals. You know what I mean? And so, I haven't, well look, I don't have desktop. Oh yeah, I do. Where's that? It's on there. What is that? Oh, display capture. That must be the camera. I don't have my desktop on here. I don't think. Oh, wait. Yeah, I do. I can. Yep. Hold on. So I will pull up trading. Let it load. Give me 2 seconds. So we'll take a look at silver. At least the silver charts that I look at. Let me transition us over here. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, so what are we on here? The month. So this is the month chart. And so, are we on silver? Yeah. So, we've all been buying for the last few months in here, and it's just now popping back up to where it was, but I haven't been buying a whole lot of, deals. My LCS, I've realized that on some things he's kind of rough, on the deals, but I went in there the other day and he had 10th ounce gold eagles, and he was selling those for 200, and I couldn't find them for 200 anywhere else. I picked one up that day. And then, I came home and I was checking it out to see, how good did I do? And I couldn't find one anywhere for 200. So, I did the stupid thing and I went back the next day to buy another one. So, let's look at gold. So, okay. It is coming back up a little bit. But, yeah, it's not bad, but yeah, if this comes back up, or if the Fed starts to pivot, we should find out in I think it's a couple days. if they haven't already. I've been traveling, so I don't know. I'm not up on my stuff, but if they this next rate hike is another 75 basis points and not 50 basis points, uh, that means that they're not ready to pivot yet. And so that means we're going to be in for hurting for a little while longer. But if it's 50 basis points, that means we're at the peak and they're starting to turn backwards to try to calm down all these rate hikes. And so that will weaken the dollar, and then all of our precious metals will go up, and will probably be, well, gold's kind of hard to tell because COVID really didn't wreck it the same way that it did silver. But if you look at silver, so where are we at? This was COVID, right? Yeah, March 20. Feb, somewhere in here. January, February, yeah. So this is the COVID dip, and then the subsequent rise. And then we've been kind of playing in this area here for a while. And then, here recently, because of all these rate hikes and everything what the Fed's doing, we've just been kind of trickling down from that recent high of like $27, $28 down to as low as 18. That's a $10 spread. And now we're just now starting to get some of that back. We're up like $3.50 from that. But you see, okay, so to give you an idea, you see these lines I put in here? And you guys can believe me if you want. I don't care if you do. But I put these lines on here months ago. I think we were somewhere in here when I drew these lines up. And that's exactly what I said. I said, okay, I'm watching this. And I said, okay, this is our, hopefully, our support line. Because I was hoping it wouldn't fall too much below like the $21. But I said, if it does, then we think we could go about here. I, put this as, the lowest I think it could go unless things get really bad over time. And then I said, if it does start dropping, and, I'm looking at the timeline on this, I said, this is where we should see. So this is like, I call it a box. It's a triangle, but it's what I call like the box. And so if you start falling below the box, but still on this line, you're still on track. You fall below it, then you're in trouble. You go up, raise above your support, then obviously that's good. But this is what I kind of use, and then every 6 months or so, 8 months, a year, depending on how things are working, I'll go in and I'll refigure this and kind of draw some more lines to see like where it's going, because then, if it starts dropping below this, I'll wait a minute and see what it's doing before I start buying like a whole bunch more. Anyhow, that's enough market analysis. I'll get back to it. Leave page. Look, it's YouTube. So that's what I do. Let me turn off this display capture and transition. There we go. So that's what I do. Those are the charts that I look at. I'm always looking at it in some form, trying to kind of analyze like the bigger picture. I still buy all the time, but I try to keep an eye on like crypto and the stock market and all that. I just quit looking. I checked my crypto the other day, and what I had left in it, I think 2021. So I made a bunch of money. I lost what I left in it. I lost about half of, because it was like May, I think, of 2021. Just the crypto had a huge dive. But I lost about half of that, which was a pretty penny. And then to stomach it, I just left it in there and kind of walked away, for most intents and purposes, and just kind of let it sit. And what was probably a year ago, well, probably more like a year and a half, what was like $4,000 or so that I still had left in there is now down to like 600 and some odd dollars. Just to give you an idea. So, Oh no, I'm not organized. I can show you the desk. It looks like a bomb went off. I have stacks of cash. I have uh, the red book. I got the gray sheets that Flip sent me. I have coin flips and staplers, and yeah, it's more of a mess than I make it look. But YouTube, you got to get a half decent shot for the camera. But so I try to watch everything. Stocks, I mean, it's all the same right now until the Fed reverses on all these rate hikes and trying to control inflation the way that they are. Um, we're not going to see any improvement in anything. But when we do, I've been looking at some reports, and I've watched a bunch of people, pundits and different experts, and everybody pretty much unanimously agrees. Like stocks, yeah, they'll come back. Crypto, yeah, it'll come back. But commodities, silver, gold, oil, minerals, mining companies, all of these things are going to be the things that take off the most once we get back to a decent track. So, anyhow, these are some of the things that I bought. These pennies I am kind of sad on because I looked at them and I was like, I want these. But then I thought about it and I'm like, yeah, I'm trying to kind of spark some interest in her to collect some stuff. I told her that, she likes going through the pennies. I told her she should, go to her bank and ask for a box occasionally and, see what she can do with it. But that's going to be a gift for her. She's been working pretty hard. As a matter of fact, I went through a box tonight. She started it earlier this evening, and then I finished it. And then I have another one, and I'm probably just going to see if she wants to go through that one on her own, maybe this weekend or something, give her something to do. But I just did a short on it and showed kind of what I do with the bank box. I found a 1925 Wheatie. It's not the earliest I've ever found, but it's in pretty decent shape for its age. A 30, I think, and maybe a 35. Those were my earliest dates, and then some other stuff, but I found some S's. I still have yet to find a proof, and I don't know if it's just because the proofs that I'm seeing, I think, are kind of... I saw one today where I was looking at it. I got the magnifying glass out. I kept questioning it, and it probably was a proof, but it had just been so circulated and scuffed up that I don't know. It had what should have been a mirror finish, but it looked like it was in somebody's pocket for like a couple of weeks, and it had gotten kind of hazy, like almost like a matte finish, but you could still see that it had the reflective capability somewhere under there, but I think it was too far gone. I didn't keep it. But the channel's doing really well, and I'm still trying to figure out, like, the live here is nice, and I appreciate everyone for hanging out. I got 6 of you in here. I see Rebecca, Junkie, and Flipside being the main ones commenting. I'm sure Flip's up to no good somewhere, but searching through coins is super fun. What the heck? What is that? See, I'm old. I can't see. Hold on, where's my magnifying glass? That can't say 37. It's gotta be 87, right? 97? I hate it when you get new, old-looking coins. I see it all the time in pennies, mostly, but you open up a roll or something, and something just looks tarnished and aged and old, and then you pick it up, and it's a 2019. Meanwhile, we're pulling out pristine 1960s and whatever else, out of these bank rolls, and it's upsetting. Because I'll get all excited. I see something that looks old, and it's new. I figured I could tell by the Washington. I didn't think I was correct on that, but It's gotta be a 97. I'm gonna check it. I'm gonna pull open a couple rolls and just look around and see if I see anything. But quarters haven't been super nice for me. And also my bank, I need to talk to Flip. I need to give him a call sometime when he's got a minute. Find out how he, because I have the ladies at the bank on my side. They all like me. I complicate things, but I'm nice about it, and I've given them all silver rounds at different points. But whoever they're ordering their coins from are rejecting my orders, and I keep asking, like, can I just, like, straight pay for them? Yeah, it's a 97, but it looks really dirty. That's why I was trying to see the heck was going on with that thing. It looks like it sat in the end of that roll forever. But yeah, they will not, I think the last 2 times I've tried to get halves, they've denied it. They legit no, we're not giving you halves. So I don't really want to go to another bank because I already have them on my side. But I'm not getting halves, so that's why I've been going through a lot of quarters, pennies, things like that. And I'm not up. I was talking to Ray and Keys the other night after the Sunday stream where, Flip wasn't streaming because he didn't feel good, which is completely understandable. And I did a little sale at the end of Keys' thing. And then Ray and Keys and I talked for a quick minute after the stream was over. Man, I got a couple of these anime Wongs. I don't even know what to look for on those. But that's my point I'm trying to make. Ray sent me a link or something for some error book that, I should try to at least keep up on, apparently, for when I'm looking through stuff. And that's the thing with coins. It's almost like there's too much. There's so many, and the mint right now, I don't know what they're doing, but it's like they screw up everything. Like chips and the dies, all kinds of just. It's like constant. Every series quarter has some kind of predominant error. I looked. Somebody had said something, and I looked on eBay because I got a brand new box, 2022 pennies, and I don't like the shield sense. I don't like the zinc, so I traded them back in. I think I talked about that in a video where I tried to give them or exchange them at a bank, one of my other banks, and they wouldn't. So I had one of those boxes. But then I found out later, I think I watched like a Blue Ridge Silverhound short or something, and he was talking about, oh yeah, you get the new pennies and you could sell the whole box on eBay for hundreds of dollars. And I'm like, what? Yeah, people are buying the brand new boxes of pennies and different things because apparently the mint's making so many errors that they're betting that they're going to be able to find something in that box that makes it, worth more than that. I think he said like a brand new box of pennies was selling for like 100 something, 150 something like that on eBay, which is just crazy to me. See, Flip's so fast when he goes through stuff, but quarters are a pain because there's so many variations. Aside from silver edges, you really got to look at them because I'm checking the Washington crossing the Delaware, see if I can find another crown error. That would be nice. Some of those, the really bad ones, there is some money. Like hundreds of dollars. I don't know if I would keep it or if I would try to offload it, but it's still true. They're very valuable. The one I got, that early crown error I did the short on, it's worth probably somewhere around 10 or 15 bucks, something like that. Man, I got a lot of these anime Wongs. I don't know when those came out. I never really seen this many in a roll before, but they're... what probably happened? Somebody was searching them, like had a bunch of rolls or something. and then they just threw them back in. So that's why I have like a concentration of them. I think I've seen like a couple before, but this like almost like every third coin is an Anime Wong. But yeah, I mean the coin hunting is it's fun. It consumes time. It keeps me from buying silver most of the time. Um, I don't know. I feel like it kind of slows me down a bit, and I like it. But yeah, it's been getting super hard. What was it? End of last week, I went in to my bank, and they just like shook their heads. You've literally been through every box in our vault. So yeah, we got nothing for you. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. You know, give me some bills. So I can look for star notes. And that's what I did. So I did find some star notes. None of them on the registry or... grab my pen here. None of them on the registry are like anything special. Just normal, like, I think like 3 million runs or something. Nothing crazy. But yeah, quarters suck because mainly you're looking for errors. I think that last short that I did, I found that silver. It's like a 50-something quarter. I got lucky on that. I will tell you, I titled it that because I'm sure I would have found it. But I wasn't even looking at it. I was looking at that dark quarter. Trying to figure out what the edge looked like, and then I noticed it up top. But quarters, you're mainly looking for like oddities, errors, W privies, whatever you can find. Because of all the new, I feel like there's not a lot of old anymore in the quarters. I don't think you're finding a lot of silver. Halves are really where you're at, and even that, here where I'm at, they don't want to give them to you. Or at least they don't want to give them to me. Now, my other bank, like I said, I don't want to switch. They claim that they can get me boxes, but they say I have to wait, and I can order them. But that's what I'm going to have to go test here soon is... Oh, that's a Delaware. Nope. Is if... I want to see if they get orders canceled like the other bank. Because the other bank, it's hit or miss. I asked this week, they had no halves. That's why I got pennies and quarters. It was all they had. But I did go in there the other day, and they had some $2 bills they had saved for me and a couple other small things that they thought I might like. And I just take whatever they have. If they took the time to set it aside, I'll take it from them. Worst case scenario, I'll keep it or spend it somewhere else if it's nothing. But I like to keep them happy. I don't want to tell them that what they saved for me is nothing. So I'll just keep it and not say much about it, and then go dispose of it in whatever ways I can later. No, there's no service fee, Coin Junkie. At least at the one bank. I don't know about the other one that claims they can get them and I order them. That I'm not 100% sure on theirs, because I've never got anything from them. I just asked about it months and months and months ago, and they never really... Which is funny, because I was sitting there and I may have actually put in an order. Because I remember them telling me that, and I was like, okay, like, order me a box. And I don't think anyone's ever gotten a hold of me, so maybe they are kind of bluffing a bit. But I know that bank's real weird. Like, you walk in, there's people at desks, and they will call you up before the teller will. Like, the teller's almost like the backup. And, like, you sit down at these people's desk, and then they do withdrawals, whatever you need, and then if they're all busy with customers, then the line forms at the teller. It's real weird, and I don't know what to make of it. It's a nice bank, but they never said anything about a service fee. They did say you had to wait like 2 weeks to get your coins, but I get this strong suspicion too from them that they don't want you bringing them back either. Like they seem very anti hunter. Like they wouldn't even entertain me swapping out a box of pennies. They tried to claim they didn't have it. So maybe that's true, maybe it's not. But it is concerning. Like, because it's hard. You can't. We should almost band together, start some kind of weird bank, right? And just don't even deal with bills. Just order all the coins from the mint. And then send them back when we're done with them. And order new ones. Ooh, that's a really nice... Man, I wish that would have been a W. It's a really nice Salt River Bay. It's in pretty good shape. I know it's just a 2020, but usually they're not so shiny. What else is going on? I gotta send Shy Guy his Panda. I got my rounds. Oh, I got a nickel book. I got my third nickel book, and I was kind of disappointed on this because it's the Jefferson nickel, like the latest year or whatever, but it goes only to like 95 in the book. I'll have to, let me pull it. Yeah. Oh, no. Starting 96. Hold on. I know I looked at this because I was disappointed. Oh, okay. Yeah. It only goes to 2015. My bad. So, like, there's one spot in the whole last page that's actually labeled. And the rest of it they've never updated for, what is that, like 7 years? Almost 8. So, that's kind of disappointing because I have a bunch of mine for this series sitting here, circulated, but ready to go into the book. And I looked at the book today there at Silvertown and was like, oh, that's upsetting because I don't want to write in the books and have to do all that and oh shoot, I forgot one or a mint mark or something and then have to go back and white out. Kind of like that $50 book that I got from Flip. It's a great book and I love it, but somebody did graffiti all through that book and I don't know. I'll probably see if there's like another book I can buy. I'm sure I can get the stuff off of the pages, but the question is, what's it going to look like after that? And I don't know if that's worth trying to save that book or not, because like some places it looks like Sharpie, some places it looks like ink pen, and like it looked like somebody was literally like had gotten the book either from someone else or passed down to them. And like in the front page, they cordoned off all the silver. And then in other ones, they were like trying to write down how much they thought a coin might be worth. And so it's not bad. I'm not unhappy at all. Like I love the set, but like as far as the book goes, like yeah, somebody wrote all of it. That's never ideal, right? Unless they're writing the mint mark in the year and whatever else. So, yeah, I'll have to figure that out. I do have... Flip sent me my proof sets. And I gotta switch those into the capital holders. That was one thing I wasn't 100% sure what I was going to do on stream. Oh, yeah. Man, well, I don't know about uncirculated. Oh, here. I will show you guys this, because this I'm also going to give to my son's mother. It says $65. I will tell you this. I did not pay that. I actually did some haggling over at Silvertown. And the guy that I dealt with was really nice. But here's a, and this is one of their books. They, I can tell you, they just pretty much chose to throw these in here just for the sake. But here's 20 BU cents. Starts at 34 to 40 and has the S. Let me make sure these are right. Magnifying glass. Sometimes these mint marks. Yep, the S's, the D's, the P's, they're all right. So that's 20 BU pennies. I still probably paid more than I should have, but I did not pay 65. So that's going to be a gift too with the other pennies and cans for my son's mother. Try to, like I said, spark some of her interest in it. She likes searching through the pennies and stuff. I just really haven't seen her do a whole lot on her own. I've given her a box occasionally to kind of run through, or have her sort through the copper and say, hey, look and see, did I miss anything that looks good or whatever have you. I mean, she's got to be decent because she found this, and I'm still waiting back on an official word. I have it listed on eBay just in case, but it's got to be. I mean, I've poured over so many examples of die adjustments and test pieces, and it looks like a relative carbon copy of every single one that is in a graded holder. So I'm pretty sure that's what it is. And she saved that. I wasn't even going to keep it. It's kind of upsetting to me because if indeed it is what it is, which I feel like it is, it's probably the most expensive coin that I've found in a bankroll, and it's not even technically mine because I didn't want to save it. And so, yeah, I got it on eBay for $100, but here's the problem there, and the only reason I feel like it hasn't sold yet is because, and I didn't think about this, I've never sold anything on eBay. So it's a coin, ungraded. Granted, it looks like what it is, but I have no feedback or positive sales or anything. Like, it's just I get a fresh account with no history. I mean, I've been on there as a buyer for years, and it says I created the account some long time ago, but I've never sold anything. So I think that might be the reason, because here we will let me go. Okay. Display capture. Give me a minute. We'll transition over. Now you don't have to see me puff on my puffer. So we'll go to eBay. Shopping. And I'll show you what I saw. Okay, so advanced. Sold listings. Okay, so this is what I was talking about. This one sold, raw, the day I listed mine. And so if we look at, you can't really see the pictures? Oh, that's horse crap. What happened? Oh, no, you can. Okay. So here now, and again, theirs is like kind of different a little, but it's supposed to be the same thing. They had a little bit more of stuff going on the back, but they're sold for $275 raw, and that's a 2000. Mine's in 1999. Just the same day that I listed mine. Go back. Oh, it won't go back. And so you look at some of these others. See if we can find one that's a state quarter that's graded. These don't, I'm not saying they move a lot, and I'm not seeing a whole bunch of them. here's one, but it's like an older one, so it's a little different. Where'd the pictures go? Don't see the pictures. Can I see them? Yeah, okay, here we go. Yeah. So, it's very similar to mine. It looks very scratchy, and like the words just ghost off out of nowhere. And so, like, you see the top where you can see Liberty, but it's there, but it's not. And that's all about that adjustment that they're making on the strike. Oh, I didn't want to do that. And so this one's graded NGC die adjustment, so they're certifying that that is indeed what it is. In the back, it's poor lighting on the shot, but you can kind of see the same thing. Like, there's fuzzy parts, and all the fuzzy parts look like, for lack of a better term, it looks like somebody scratched the hell out of the coin. It looks like a dryer coin, and that's what it was, like what I thought when I first saw it. But then I didn't realize that the rim's all there. Like, I'm not going to say perfectly, but it's not messed up on mine. And so that was, I didn't really look at that until after I figured out that die adjustment errors were a thing. And then, I went from there. But, yeah, so if I pull off, I'll show you mine, better pictures, because the camera never does. Well, I guess I can just do this. So, go to my eBay. Oh, look at that. Password. My password's a bunch of dots. So, if we go in here and look at it, get the better picture, and look at it, you can see at all the hallmarks. You see all the rims there. There's not really any funny business with the rim. And I haven't looked at this, but somebody told me too that like the reading on the edges should be kind of weak, and I think it is. Like they're kind of like, it looks like it's already been rubbed, but it's not that it's been rubbed. It's that it wasn't pressed hard enough. And so that's there. All the ghosting on the letters, you see. So it is what it is. And when and if somebody buys this, or if nobody buys it, then I'm just gonna buy it from her, and then probably send it off to get graded. When they're graded, I mean, and I don't know if they're going for that because I don't see a lot of sales on them, but they're valued anywhere from $400 to like $800. So I listed this one at $100 starting bid, $250 buy it now. I feel like that's hopefully fair. If somebody gets it graded, it'll be good. But yeah, the whole point of this, sorry to go off on a tangent, was that she found this and thought to keep it and kind of forced me to keep it while we were looking through some quarters, and I didn't even think to keep it. And here's the back on the tree, Connecticut, and you can see. And the other good thing about this one is you can see everything. You can see the 1999 ghosting at the bottom. On the front, you can actually see the P for the mint mark is there, well enough to be there. So everything's actually here, because some of these, like, you can't even tell a date on some of them. So this one's actually kind of like that, like midway in between, like, and I feel for that reason it's kind of nice, because it's a good example of what this does look like when it happens, I guess. So anyway, yeah, it's probably the most expensive coin we've ever found, and it's not mine. So let me get back here, turn off the display, switch it back. There we go. But yeah, so that was the upsetting thing, was she made me save it. I put it in a flip. I have it sitting here. And then just like, this was like I think last weekend, I was sitting here looking through stuff and mint errors and things on some website. And then I stumbled upon die adjustment errors, and I'm like, oh, okay, like, because I know I'm from industrial maintenance, I know about machines and things, and I'm like, okay, die adjustments, like, oh, I wonder what those look like. And I just remember looking at that first picture of the coin, and like, I sat here for a minute. I'm sitting right here, and the other coin's right in front of me, and I'm like, wait a minute. And I held it up, and I'm looking at it, and the similarities and stuff, and I'm like, wait a minute. And that's when I think I kind of discovered, it is what it is. So I don't know about grading. I'll send it out. If like I said, if nobody buys it, then I'll buy it from her for a number that we've already agreed upon, and then I will send it out for grading and see what I get. But it's kind of rough. The quarters, just because there's so many, and you just don't. It's not as I get the $50. That's where the money's at, because you can just kind of get through these quarters. You got to look for so many things, just like pennies. There's so many doubles and junky knows. Dime planchet struck with a quarter. Oh, sir, if you really found that, you found a dime planchet struck on a quarter die. That's, I feel, and I'm not at all diminishing your find, but I feel like that should be pretty obvious. It should be way undersized and thin, right? If you found that, that would be freaking sweet. I just found out that apparently, like, I'm not checking weights. And so, like, they're like, oh, weigh all your 1983 pennies, because if you, I think 83. Because if you find one that's actually a copper planchet, it's worth, like, a ton of money, because it wasn't supposed to be copper anymore. And I'm like, I'm throwing all of them back. I'm not even looking at them. So it's just, and that's why Ray said, oh, not just one, two. Oh, see, and that's the fun part. And this, I feel, helps kind of keep my stacking in check. And I don't know. I mean, I guess it's not stacking per se, but it's a lot of fun. Kind of gets you into the coins. And yeah, like, I mean, still at the end of the day, I'm looking for silver. It's just, unfortunately, with things like quarters, that's not the most of what you find. I can't believe I found that early crown error that I did. I was looking at that, and I'd already found a couple W privies, or WV75 privies in that box. And I was like, okay. And I knew about the crown error, but I've looked at so many and never seen anything. So when I saw that one and it had like some weird bubble thing, I was like, wait a minute. And I'm looking, I'm getting the magnifying glass. I think at that point I did have I had a scope. It barely worked. I sent it back. I'm going to have to buy another one. But I had a scope. I put it under to see it better. And I'm like, yeah, that it is. And so that's when I started looking up the smaller ones, because obviously the heavy crowns are really apparent, and realized that, they still count. They're still fetching a price. It's not much of one, but it's actually better than if it was a silver quarter. It's got the value there. So I don't hate on it. But it's not really, with the quarters, it's not really silver hunting. See, now there's a really nice Connecticut quarter. And it's a P, just like the other one. Came off. Oh, that's the other thing I didn't talk about. And I didn't film or do anything inside Silvertown because, number one, it was my first trip there. And number two, there were a couple other people. I don't know what this one dude was doing, but he has some special privileges. They brought out a whole giant bin of stuff. And he was sitting there on the counter, and they were letting him go through all of it. And he was looking at stuff with a loop. I don't know what he was looking for. I didn't even like get close enough to see what he was looking through. But he must be local there, right? And some kind of good customer, because they were letting him peel through this whole big giant box of coins and things. And they had already separated them. So whatever it was all the same thing. And he was, with a loop, but he was going about as fast as Flip. And it kept just running through him. And I was probably there for the better part of an hour. And he was there when I left, but he came in about 10 minutes after I got there. And he was just going through all these coins. So, I don't know what that was, but he was looking for something. And they must have dealt with him enough to... I did ask about the actual mint, because, I don't know. And I was like, hey, like, does the mint, like, do they have, like, tours, or do they do anything, and any of that? And the dude was just like, oh, hell no. Like, basically. He's like, no, there's too much money in that building, there's so much security, like, no, we're not letting any public in there ever. Like, I mean, I get that, but I thought I'd ask. You can go in the U.S. mints, and they have some tourist attractions. Right, and that's what I'm trying to do with my bank tellers, and my LCS is kind of a dick, because I'm a good customer, but I'm not his best customer, and I'm also not his longest customer. So I'm like, dude, like, when you get stuff in, call me. He's like, nope. I don't do that for my best guys. He goes, I get stuff, blah, blah, blah. It's here. When you come in, ask me if I have anything that's not in the case or that I haven't put out yet, blah, blah, blah. But he goes, if I did that, I'm just selling to you. I'm not selling to... I got to give everybody a fair shake. He said the ones that come in the most and the ones that ask are the ones that get. And so it makes business sense. It does. It's not what you want to hear, as somebody looking for deals and things, but he's done me really well on a couple things. I'm sure there's been a few he's probably got me on, a little more so on his side, but a lot of stuff, like, then that's what I was going to say earlier. He's still selling all his constitutional at 20 times face. Has been, I think. I don't think it's changed. I think he was always charging 20 face, even when price was low, down towards like the 18 range. I think he's just kind of kept it there. Now, I'm interested to see. I'm probably going to stop in on him tomorrow, now that prices are significantly up, and see if he's still at that, and if he still has some, I'll probably pick some up. But he's old school, man, and he offered. Well, I'm not gonna say he offered it to me, but he told me he's going to be retiring in a couple of years. Salt River Bay, Denver, Philly. Somebody was hunting. 3 Salt River Bays in a row. But he told me he's going to be retiring from that. 1966. Getting so close. I hate it when you see the old ones. See a 6 and you get happy, and then it's not followed up the right way. But yeah, he said he's going to be retiring in a couple of years tops. And we've already talked about what he would sell the place for, and everything else. So I don't know if I'll do it. I guess we'll see when the time comes, but he doesn't list anything online at all. Period. Not Facebook, not eBay, not nothing. Does that have a website? I mean, he has a website, but it just says, like, the store's address and the hours. It's like, like 1990s style website. Like, there's so many improvements that could be made to, bring his business up into the 21st century. And, who knows if that would pan out, the investment would work. But as far as coin, well, he's not a coin shop, but anywhere where you can buy coins, bars, bullion, stuff like that, 25 minutes one way and at least 30 in the other. And I don't know of any in between, east and west. So there's not a whole lot of, I mean, there's competition, but like if you're local, there's really not. Like, it's probably one of the closest places to go and buy. So I don't know when. Bye, Rebecca. Thank you for hanging out. I appreciate it more than you know. So I'll see what happens in, another 2 years or so when he decides to, throw in the towel. But it'll be interesting because I don't know that I want to do that. I'm probably too nice of a person. But I feel like if you could, I know they don't have a big margin anyway, but if you get the deals, do the shopping, go to the coin shows, make some wheeling and dealing and stuff, and actually have like a half decent shop that's not killing people on prices, I feel like that word of mouth would spread pretty well, and you'd move things pretty often depending on how the market goes. Plus, if you take, some stuff listed online, like we all know, like some of these bullion dealers, even the high-tech one, that's the one south of me, they've been in the business the longest. They've updated. They're kind of fancy. I don't know why. Those Johnson Matthey bars, I sold some at the fire sale. I still got a couple. Just 1 ounce bars, but they're in great shape. They're no toning. They're in the plastic still. They look like the day they were made. They have those in the, like, not junk silver bin, but the generic silver bin. Because technically they are, but that's a premium bar. They're not even trying. I stop in there every now and again, just to see what they got, and I buy stuff from them. But that's crazy to me. And they're the ones that are up to date on stuff. They don't have any online presence either. You either come in the shop and buy, or you don't. And so it's weird, kind of nobody wanting to update to like the 21st century. But yeah, they'll put, if the government backed goes into a different government backed bin, but and all the semi-numies and everything would be there with like maple leaves and things like that. But generic bars like art bars and different things like that, they're just in the generic silver bin. They're the same price as Buffalo's. So if you can catch it, and that's what I did. I walked in that day. I think that was the day that might have been the day I bought the 1916D. I can't remember. Merc time. But I remember walking in and seeing that, and I was like, what do you got on those? Because they're in there with all the generics. And I'm like, what do you got on those? And they're like, oh, no, it's just whatever it was. I think like 23, 24. Really? Give me all 4 of them. Like, what are you, you're just giving them away, okay? And then I gave them away. Like, I got bad business sense. But I'm not really trying to turn it into a business. That was just liquidation, right? But it's funny to me that not many of these dealers are I don't know if it's that they don't realize or they don't want to go through the trouble or what, but you list that online and get $30 for it, probably all day long. I don't even know. Let me switch over. You'll still look at my face, but 1 ounce JM bar. That should get me. Okay, 1 ounce Johnson Matthey bars are, depends on the exact, like, one, but, like, here's one that's just like the one I had. Bids on it are up to $33. Here's another one. Looks, yeah, same style. Bids on it up to 27. Um, yeah, they're going for close to 30. Um, seems like most of them. Uh, so, yeah, that's crazy. I mean, it's not crazy, but that's definitely a unique situation, and most of these dealers aren't putting those up for the price that they should be. They're not trying to list them online and get some of them. I'm not even going to say premiums. I'm just going to say some of the value back out of it. They're just selling it as generic silver. I mean, I guess that's good for some of their people, their customers. I'm not saying like you shouldn't give your customers a deal. You don't have to do that with all of them. But if you get somebody brings you in 10 of them and you buy them at, maybe a little over spot or whatever you're paying, throw 5 of them out in the shop for something and throw 5 of them online. Something. Get some of that money back out of it. I don't know. So we'll see in a couple of years. Bicentennial. It's funny, like these used to be special and now they're kind of even hard to find. And there's an error on the Tuskegee Airmen where there's like some kind of strike through on the building. They call it like the burning building. I've been trying to look for that a little bit when I see them. It's quarters are rough. They just are. Because there's so many. And I probably don't even spend enough time. Really. At all. And honestly, I've only found like a couple silver quarters the whole time. And I was telling Flip this. And that's one of the reasons why I was doing his boxes so much there for so long. Not only was it's a pretty good deal, I kind of don't tell him, but he dropped the price and kind of pulled out the what was it, like the Walker Benjis or whatever, the 90%ers that he was throwing. And I get it. I'm not crabbing on it, but like between the silver pools being semi-NUMMI government backed, and the 90%ers, and then whatever you found, assuming that you found like a half decent box, I feel like there were probably times I was getting over on them, even at the price tag for a whole box. And now, I gave Rebecca my Benjis, I think last time. I would have fared pretty well on that one. Had I not given away them Benjis. But, and I get it, costs are going up, everything's going up, and you got to adjust. But I really liked getting the 590%ers. I don't even know. Yeah, come to think of it, he only dropped it down by like $50 though. So really still, like, he probably was kind of losing out on that deal. He probably did have to adjust it because it would probably, if the box is too good, he's basically giving money away. I mean, which is kind of the point, I get it. But, yeah, that's a whole thing. And that's, is it struck through grease? Oh, there's one on the back quarter too? Jesus. See, Ringmaster Ray told me I got to get that error book. And that's, I don't want to. I don't want to. I just want to stack silver and gold. But I feel like, you look at eBay and you see some of these, and I know you have that Lincoln commemorative with the doubling on the thumb, and I know I've seen that on plenty of auctions a few times. Have you sold that thing yet? Yeah, but you can't buy a half for melt. I was even lucky that I got that gold-plated one today for 12. That's why I snatched it up. I'm sure they're looking at that as damage, but it's kind of cool. Takes up most of the bat's face. You know what I'm surprised too? I'm collecting a lot of those quarters, um, the 5 ounce quarters, and they're all pristine. Oh God, I should have said this earlier while everybody was in here. But when I was at Silvertown, walking around, the guy's showing me everything. His name was Payne, by the way. Payne. Which really interesting name. Really cool guy. But we were walking around, he's showing me everything. He was being super helpful. And I spent a little bit of money, so I guess rightfully so. But in the bottom of one of the cabinets, I think this was the one that had like some birthday and other bars and stuff in it. At the bottom of that cabinet, everything's locked, but kind of like guarded case at the bottom were a bunch of the dies for different stuff. One was like buffalo bars. They had some rounds. They had some big 5 ounce ones. They had like I want to say it was like a Walking Liberty style something. And they had the big 5 ounce one, down there, and all the dies and everything. We're just sitting there, and I was looking at him, and he's like, "Yeah, those aren't for sale." And I'm like, I didn't expect them to be, but I'm like, "Oh, really? Like, come on now, like, put a little X or something on it, like, mark it and sell it to me, please, Jesus." But yeah, they're not selling them. But it was really cool to like look at some of the dies, because like I said, I'm from machinery and maintenance and stuff, so I was like, oh, that's cool. And I can't even imagine getting like a die carved up for like I don't even fathom like you're carving into steel, and on something like a proof or whatever, it's got to be polished and all this. There's a lot of work that goes into that. Yeah, I'll have to look. Junkie. See, that's the thing. Like, I don't have a scope right now, and even if, like, it sucks. Like, a lot of the errors suck because you've got to scope it, and then like going through things like I do. You take scoping things. Hey, Crypto Fat, nice to see you, sir. Um, and then you add that to the time of your search, and it gets really long. I guess it would take a while because like all these boxes that I got from them, my goal is to have them back at the bank and turned back in by Saturday, because they're closed tomorrow. It's Veterans Day. Oh no, I'm not selling anything. I did not pick up any Libertads today. No. I got a box from Big Flip of an order. I also went to the Silvertown Mint. Well, not the Mint, but their shop over in Winchester, Indiana. And ran over there and looked around and picked some stuff up. But if you want to see pretty, I'll show you some pretty. So, oh, Johnny T's here. Oh, it's all over now. Are we getting all the West Coast people? Did it get late enough and nobody else is streaming? So, if we want to see pretty, look at me. I can't even close the box right. Got all the wrap. These are overly complex. I'm just going to throw it out there. So, and I was kind of upset about this one. Not for any obvious reason, but it's the Standing Liberty. Pop it out of here so I can get closer to the camera. It's the Standing Liberty quarter made out of gold, but it's like like noticeably smaller than a quarter. I know the camera's not doing it very good here, sorry, but it's noticeably smaller, just by a bit. But I feel like I get it, Like the size difference, it's hard to do. I don't even know what this weighs. What's it weigh? It's a quarter ounce. Okay, so a quarter troy ounce. So it's not bad. But yeah, because of that, you know, it's just slightly smaller than a quarter. Am I even? Come on. Yeah, so it's pretty. I'm happy to have it. It's gonna sit in this case a whole bunch. I don't even know if people get those graded. I feel like they probably should, but I mean, most of them stay in those capsules their entire lives anyway. So I got that. If I could see what I'm talking about, overly complicated. To put this thing back in this box and do all the stuff, flip it up, put the cap back on, and then I got the Merc dime. And it's actually much closer to the actual, it may even be exact, the actual size of a Merc dime. It looks pretty legit as far as its size, and it's really cool just to see this in gold. So I got these. They came in from Flip today. You know, and that's part of the problem. Like, it's stacking, but there's also the numismatic portion of it. And somewhere I got the gold Kennedy, half. That's graded, and that's somewhere else put up. But I haven't put any of these things away yet. I've still been looking at them from where I got them today. But now I got 3 of those and about a nice growing collection. I've been buying a lot of gold, and that's like we were looking at. We'll go back. There's not much going on, so we can transition back over. I'll go back and pull up my trading platform, and this is silver. We were talking about this a bit earlier, but gold. When you see this just falling stairs, I mean, you know, I wasn't loading the boat, but now that we were down in here, 1600, you know, I don't see gold going down to 1200. Everybody knows the Fed's going to pivot eventually. I just didn't see it coming back down here. You look at it, this back here, we're at 2002. So 2002, $300 ounce of gold. Think about how those guys are doing. The old stackers, assuming they still have it, which I'm sure most of them do. That's 2011 after the real estate. So this is 08. Real estate took a dive, back up. Just huge. And then it's dipped a bit. And then COVID never really did much. It's March of 2020 right here. There's that big red candle, right? And it really null and voided itself out. So what these candles mean is the wick up and down is how far it went each direction in that time frame. So these are the months. So for the month of March, it was at this high at 1697-ish, and it was this low at 1457. But then you just see the rocket back up, and then we've played around in here all through this. Then the economy just keeps, and the Fed just keeps beating us down. So then now it looks like maybe, hopefully, we're starting to get some kind of rally here. But I'm buying all the way through this because I know, I look at, these aren't all of my triggers. Oh, look at that ad. These aren't all of my triggers, but these are some of the things I look at. And so, you kind of watch these. You see these sweeping moves. And so when they cross over each other, when blue crosses over what I call red down here, that means we're on the way back down. And so then, like, you got to watch it, and you can get some false signals. Like this one looked like it was going to pull back up, but it didn't. And so then we get here, and we're still on the downward trend, even with all that upwards momentum. And you see that here on the RSI. You see the steep incline up, but that can just easily just flip back. That's why you look at multiple different indicators at the same time to try to not, predict, but kind of see what's going on and where it's going. But if you can time the crosses right, like, look, we'll go after the fact. So if you saw that cross and it looked like somewhere in here it was confirmed and it was going to stay for a while, you wouldn't have bought. But then you see it cross back up. Let's say somewhere in here you see the confirmation. And you go, okay, they're starting to separate. That's a good sign. I'm going to buy some, in this case, gold. Right? You would have bought somewhere in here like 1,300 to 1,400, somewhere in here. And then when you're rolling it out, and then you see it cross back. Start to see them separate again, like they are now. It looks like it's starting to try to level out, but you see that, and you go, okay, well, that's a sell signal. So then you would have sold somewhere here around 18, high 17s, low 18s, somewhere in there, and then just rinse and repeat. Now, this is monthly. This is the bigger picture. You can go, as far back as you want, but that's the kind of stuff that I look at when I'm trying to plan out some of my other buys. I made a bunch of... Oh, yeah. We're going to see 30 in 6 months after the Fed actually pivots like England did. Because the whole world right now, the whole world is just waiting on the Fed. Because the dollar is currently the reserve currency. There's stuff going on, but nobody's replaced it yet. Plenty of people are going to try to. And then we'll get into some truly unprecedented territory. But for now, as soon as the Fed pivots on this, as soon as they show that, okay, we've pushed this too far, we can't control inflation, we got to go back to saving the economy, like they should be trying to do, then they'll start dropping the rates back, and the price of precious metals will go up because the dollar will be weaker at that point, and they'll be trying to balance a strong dollar and not tanking the economy. So, yeah, I'd say after the Fed officially pivots, probably, like 6 to 8 months, I feel like silver will probably at least touch 30. My only fear is, and my only issue with that is that people, not everybody are stackers. Not everybody are collectors, right? This is collection gold. I have stacking gold. I have stacking silver. I have collection silver. I mean, they are different. The stacker versus the numismatic. But there's a lot of people in this just to make a profit, and we've been sitting around 20. Low 20s, low to mid 20s. Silver's been at for probably the most of the year. You could buy anywhere between 18 to 20. I mean, premiums offset. So, again, like my video the other day, forget spot price. So let's just call it $20 to $25 silver. That's what we're buying at. And what it's worth, that's a whole other conversation. But if that's the case, and it touches 27, 30, a lot of these people that have this stuff, and I feel it's stupid, I know a lot of you think it's stupid, but they are just gonna try to offload, because not everybody's in it for the long game like we are. A lot of people sitting on semi-numismatics that they can't get rid of, or um, just different things, and or something maybe they're underwater on, for whatever reason. And if it goes up enough to where they can just get out from under something, they're gonna try to. And see, then the problem is gonna be the shops, because the shops don't want to load up when it's real high like that. So supply and demand, right? It's like everybody talks about that, like, oh, you can always sell your silver, but shops aren't always going to buy. And I like Seeker. There's only 3 people in here, so I shouldn't get put on blast. We're far enough into the stream, but I like Seeker. I do. I have no problem with him. I bought from him. He's a great guy. But on his videos where he's calling the coin shops and stuff, and asking them what they're paying for this, or what they'll give him for that if he sells it, or all those videos, there's one just inherent flaw and problem that he just does not ever address, and that's pricing yourself out of the market. In maintenance and in industrial work and contractors, it's a common thing. If you need a job done and I'm either too busy or I just don't want to do it, right? Whatever that work is. Maybe I can do it, but it's going to take me a while. I have to turn down other jobs, just whatever it is, right? I don't really want to do this for you, but I'm not going to not bid it for you. It's like me at the bank. I'm not going to tell them, oh no, I don't want that box of halves, no, and like piss off my tellers to where they're not working with me. Same thing with contractors. They're not going to tell me no, but they're going to do what's called pricing themselves out of the market. Okay? The same thing goes with coin shops. Number one, let's talk about auctions. So the same thing is true with auctions. People are only buying when they want what you're selling and they have money. If people don't have money or they don't want what you're selling, you're not getting anything sold. Right? And so that's the same thing with Silver Seeker that he doesn't talk about with these coin shops, which I'm glad he obviously hides names and faces and all that stuff for good reason, and that's what he should do. But that's the one caveat that I just don't feel like gets addressed is, does that shop have the money to purchase that? Do they have any inventory of that? Because if he's trying to sell $10,000 worth of gold, I think was one of the videos that he recently did. If he's trying to sell $10,000 worth of gold, and the shop that he's talking to, which he doesn't check any of that, he doesn't verify anything, maybe they're sitting on 20 ounces that they've been sitting on for weeks and they're having trouble moving it. Yeah, they're not going to offer you a good price on buying that because they don't want it. They got a bunch. They don't need it. They're having trouble moving it. So yeah, they're going to be like, yeah, man, I'll give you 1,500 an ounce for it, and lowball you, because at that price they're a buyer, but they don't really want or need it. So they price themselves out of the market all the time. And maybe if they highball, something like when he's offering to sell something and somebody offers him above spot or whatever really good deal that he finds, they probably don't have any, can't get any, or they've been told they gotta wait. So when they got somebody on the phone that is saying, oh yeah, I got this and I'm looking to sell it, and that means, more than likely today or tomorrow kind of situation, yeah, they're going to offer you more money because they just want to get stock for their shop. They want to have stuff on hand. So it's that balance that I don't feel gets addressed. I feel like a lot of shops, they play that game. They have to. And he doesn't really talk about it. It makes for good videos. And yes, there is a litmus test in there of, what shops are paying and whatnot. But there's just not enough information. Man, you know how many deals on the YouTube auctions and different auctions and different people's streams that I've just gotten amazing deals on because nobody's bidding on it? or maybe it's just a really slow day. I had one, I think it was over last weekend, and somebody in the comments came in and said, "Oh, just stack, it's cleaning up." Like, yeah, I'm a street sweeper. If I got money and nobody's bidding, I'll be real calm, and I don't bid on everything, because I don't want everything inherently. But I'll sit there and wait and like let other people bid, give people chances to bid. Like if you notice, look back on some of the flip streams, um, and like sometimes I actually bid after they've already pulled the lot. Like they're like, oh yeah, okay, we'll pass on that, and then I'll be like, no, I'll give you whatever, and it kind of complicates things. But I wait as long as possible most times, unless I'm interested in it, to try to give other people a shot because I don't want to steamroll auctions or anything. But I will clean the streets, especially in a lot of cases. I've been on a couple. John Wolf dropped a price on one lot that was really good. Bull dropped Late Night with Bull dropped a price on a lot a couple weeks ago. All that stuff came in. And I got all that. That was a killer lot. Colorized Bugs Bunny ounce. Two copper rounds. Pretty cool ones. One was like a Trump one. 20 grams of Alcambi bars. What else? Oh, roll of quarters. 90%, obviously. So that was like $200 right there. There was another ounce of silver. I'm just having a hard time trying to, in my mind, figure out what that was. On top of the Bugs Bunny, it was a lot of stuff. It was well above the 300 I paid, and he was just having a hard time moving stuff. And he threw it out there as a Hail Mary right at the end and said, okay, a Canadian commemorative. Yeah, I got that somewhere. I think I already put it up, but and a couple other things, small things, but yeah, he had all that and put it up for 300, and I just bid it like 300 shipped. I didn't even have to pay shipping. 300 shipped. I mean, and that's the key. Watch the auctions. I mean, the ones that you want to watch, but pay attention. Are people bidding? Do people seem like they have money and they're interested? And which is fine. It varies for everybody, and you got to feel it out. But if people aren't really bidding and it's a slow night and you got money, throw out an offer. Offer them a little less. I mean, I've got stuff from Flip for really good prices. I've gotten a bunch of other things like that. Just oddities, If so, you catch somebody on an off day or they want to move something, I've gotten a bunch of deals. And that's what's hard to walk away from sometimes is, being able to take those deals and things. That's how I end up with some of the stuff I have. Is because, like, I'm a stacker, but when somebody's sitting there and, they got something that has value, it does, and they're offering it at a discount for what you could get it for anywhere else, and this is cheaper. How do you fight that urge? No, I only buy $50. Like, what? I got these quarters, man, right here, 175 for a roll. Nope, I only buy halves. Like, how do you walk away from that? So you buy what you can, and that's where I'm at. That's why I think Flip was really the gateway drug that kind of did me in. But until that, it was all bars and bullion, and I didn't really and constitutional. But I didn't really mess with anything slabbed or graded. I have so many slabs now; it's not funny. And that's like a couple of them were people wanting to trade slabs for generics. And I will tell you right now, I'll bet money on it. I swear, I'm gonna win that bet. I'm not saying there's no place for generics, and I'm not saying they're a bad value, but over time, they're always going to be making generic silver, right? The price of silver will go up, yes, but like these coins, they ran for a year or two or a series or whatever, but they're limited. And if it's slabbed and graded, And as long as nothing happens to that, it's never gonna diminish. It's an MS-70 or an MS-65 or whatever. Like, I will, on a long hold, I'll take that over a generic round. I carry generic rounds in my pocket and play with them and drop them on the ground and don't care because it doesn't matter. They have no numismatic value. It's just the silver. But the coins, the coins are going to go up, and then wait until they really start getting rid of currency. Um, this stuff's going to get destroyed. Anything that's not silver, all this clad shit, all this clad shit is going to get destroyed. All the bills are going to get burnt eventually. I'm not being crazy. I'm not saying any of this is even going to happen in our lifetimes. It may not. I don't have a timeline. But eventually, look how often do you see cash from your paycheck? When I was in debt, before I really started stacking, I almost never had cash. Like, almost never. And I know people now that just don't ever have cash. They don't even see change because they don't use cash. They don't see their money at all. So when you think that's the majority of people, and then the thought comes across to, hey guys, ain't it about time? Can't we get rid of this antiquated stuff? I think right now, if you ask the majority of Americans, can we get rid of cash and go to completely digital payments? I think most of them would kind of shrug their shoulders and go, aren't we already there? So this stuff's going to go away. So the numismatic, I still could be wrong. And silver could skyrocket and crazy things could happen. I'll always leave room for that. But sometime in the next 200 years, these things are going to be ancient, and they're not going to save them. They're not going to save all these quarters. The only one saving them will be Numismatis. And all the rest of it, I feel, will get destroyed. I mean, look at what the Mint does now. They destroy stuff all the time. They melted. What was that one gold coin? I can't even think about it. But it was like a gold coin. And because of when they confiscated all the gold, they held them back. And then they were supposed to melt them all, and a couple got out, and it was like illegal to own them. I've watched something on it. I can't remember all the details, but like a few got out, and they found some like Saudi prince or somebody that had one, and it was like this big deal. They were trying to get it back from him, and all this stuff, and threatening him with like federal imprisonment for owning it, and all this stuff because like of all these gold coins that they just melted back down. Like somehow a few smart mint workers or whoever had the wherewithal to keep like 5 of them, and then hide them. But yeah, it's like the coin that's illegal to own. I think they've hashed it all out now, but it's just things like that. They'll destroy their own stuff. They don't give a fuck about those coins at all. They really don't. The only thing they care about is making a profit, which is why I still don't know why we're making pennies anymore. Even the copper-coated zinc ones, I think we're losing money on. So the pennies days are, all of it's numbered. Pennies gotta come up. Penny is the, what is that? The canary in the coal mine, I feel like. Once they're like, hey guys, we're just going to round it up. We're going to be like Canada and get rid of the penny. I feel like that's just the beginning of the slippery slope. And then, like I talked about in that other video, what's going to happen to pennies? Maybe not right away, but when they start getting further and further and further removed from, being able to find good ones, or people just don't value them anymore and they just don't see them, it'll be like this thing, like the large cents. Go show a large cent to damn near anybody. Nobody even knows that's an American coin. Like they're like, okay, that's cool. What's that? That's a large cent. What? Nobody knows their history as far as currency and stuff, or like the bills. What was it? I just saw some like TikTok video or whatever it was, YouTube, whatever, where somebody brought in not even the old stuff, but like the small face $100 bill, and was trying to pay for something, and everybody in the store was saying it was a counterfeit because $100 bills don't look like that. They had no idea that even existed, and that's the previous run. You know, people really don't know their cash anymore. They don't. They don't know how to make change either. Just FYI, you know, you hand like anything but exact change. Like if you're trying to round up to get like $1 back instead of a handful of change, which none of us would do. But if you were trying to do that, you know, sometimes you get blank stares from cashiers. They don't know. They just hit in the buttons and give back what it tells them. Um, Buying otter pelt for 6 large cents. Yeah, really. I mean, and that's what I was talking to one of my bosses the other day. We were having like a friendly discussion. And what was it that he said? He said that there was no feasible future where SHTF happens, right? And then anybody is worried about a currency. He just could not wrap his head around the fact that silver and gold will have value when law and order fall apart. He's like, nope, I'm gonna want food, I'm gonna want stuff, and I'm like, yeah, and how are you gonna pay for that? Silver and gold. Like, if you have a bunch of hammers and this guy don't want hammers, you ain't getting none of his food or whatever it is that he has that you want. That's where currency comes in, is you want this, I want this. Those are two different things. You may have what I want, but I don't have what you want, but I got this. That you then can go buy the thing that you want with, like the store of value or medium of exchange, whatever you want to refer to it as. But yeah, he just could not. He's like, yeah, like there's no reason to, you know, to worry about any of that. Stock food, stock water, You don't need silver. You don't need precious metals. I'm thinking like, what? You know, okay. You know, you can say that, but well, he was quoting that famous line: "You can't eat silver. You can't eat silver, but if you have silver, you will eat." I hate to say it, and a lot of people think I'm wrong. And there's some stuff that goes into that. You will have to, you know, obviously be able to defend yourself and your property and your stuff. But, you know, assuming that you're not a pushover or a soft target or whatever, yeah, you know, if you have value, you're going to be able to eat. Somebody's going to trade with you or whatever have you. But yeah, a lot of people can't wrap their heads around it and then think, if they turned off all the phones, if it was that kind of situation, most of these people they don't have any skills, they don't know what to do. If we entered a situation like that, people can't even navigate. They can't hardly tell north from south. Like the sun, that's about it. You know, and a lot of them, I mean, you know, I wouldn't put too much on that. So what? They can't travel at night? Because they can't remember what direction's up? You know? I don't know. It's just... It's weird. It's the thing that all preppers and people say, you know, hope for the best, prepare for the worst kind of thing. And I guess that's kind of where, you know, silver falls for a lot of people, but a lot of people don't. So like I said, if it hits 30, I'd like to think no, but there will be some retracement. There always is in almost every market when something shoots up or goes up. Now, if it's real gradual, no, we may not see the retracement. We need theoretically we're selling off little bits over time, and we can stomach that, and we'll continue to stair step up. But if it hits 30 in a short period of time, like we kind of rock it up, oh yeah, it's gonna come back down. I'm not. If it moves fast and far, I'm not doing anything. Maybe try to sell, a couple things, not even a fraction of the stack, just to kind of like, yeah, I guess get some profit or whatever to buy or to sell high and buy back in low to increase. But I'm not doing anything major at that point. If it moves fast up or down, down I guess can be a buying opportunity. It just depends on if you think it's close to the bottom. Again, it's all relative. But yeah, if it moves up fast, it's gonna come back down pretty quick, because there's just too much, and I still hate. I almost wish we could separate the paper from the physical. Because if we did that, I feel like the physical market would be far more stable than what we see now. I really do. I think everybody's too tied to spot price. And spots the commodities trading. It's not the real stuff that we're dealing with. We know that because of premiums. So, pink bottle. Yeah, it's a vape. This thing, yeah, it's a Sakura grape. I do this instead of smoke. I smoked since I was like a kid, like 12, 13, somewhere there, and I consider it to be kicking the habit. I just still do this, but I don't even do this like as much as I would have smoked. I'm not like one of these guys where it's like it's always there. It's mostly when I'm relaxing. Maybe I'm working because I work at home in my office most of the time. I'll puff on it if I'm stressed or I'm trying to relax or whatever, but it's not that bad. It's better than smoking, I guess. So I still count myself as a non-smoker, but I still have this little bit of crutch. But yeah, anyway, yeah, I'd say, where are we at now? 21. Let me look back at my. Okay, so let me get back to silver. We're at 21 now. The COVID spike we still haven't completely bounced back from, but that's where like just come on, unprecedented kind of stuff is taking place. I'm actually surprised that it didn't move up more and that it hasn't dropped back down to like say $14 ish, like the bottom of the market before COVID. I'm really surprised at that, and that's why everybody likes to use this phrase, the new normal. And that's what I keep telling everybody. Everyone's like, oh, the housing market's going to crash. Oh, stock market's going to, all this stuff is going to, and rightfully so, because the Fed's printing money at an astronomical rate trying to keep this boat floating. But I don't see it. I travel for work. I've been all around the Midwest, all through COVID the whole time, from before it popped off to while it popped off to, I never stopped. I got, some days off and things, but there was never a shutdown. I was always working, traveling, even when we really weren't supposed to travel. Like we would have to book at like, hotels that were open and stuff. It was kind of rough there for a bit, but I've been around, and then now that stuff is opening back up, I'm kind of seeing the people and the stuff and how things are doing. I hate to say it. I think this is the new normal. I think, um, I think financially, um, we are back in it. Because, like, if we came back out of it and people were, like, deer in the headlights, like, not spending money, not taking, debt, not doing all the normal things, then I would have been like, okay, these people are still scared. They're still kind of, like, trying to play this out, see what happens. But that's not what I saw. I saw everyone literally jumped back to like normal, and the problem is the economy and everything else, like, still none of it's normal. It's still in post COVID mode. Oh god, I don't know if I can say that on YouTube. But it is, in post pandemic or whatever mode, and everybody's accepted it as okay. They're out there doing normal stuff. People, even me, I got a car for different reasons, but I got a car. I, arguably probably shouldn't have. Um, People are getting houses. I mean, the housing market was crazy, and people were still buying and still buying and still buying. Now it's maybe slowing a little, but that's because of the Fed pumping rates. If they hadn't pumped rates, houses would still be going for well over asking. There's still a ton of interest. When I rented my house just this last time, um, I had 50 good applicants in less than 48 hours. So much so that I closed applications um, at the 48-hour mark and then went through them all. And it still went for well over asking. As a matter of fact, I brought the price back down some. I didn't take the highest bidder, and I brought the price back down from what the people that got it wanted to pay. I brought it back down to what I felt was a more reasonable rate, but I wanted to rent it for $1,200 a month, and that is worth it. Um, it rented for $1,475 a month with a 2-year lease. Um, so, and that was just August. No, not August. September. September 1st was when they took over and the house. So it was a little bit before September, but late August there. Yeah, I mean, it was crazy. And for me, as an individual landlord, um, it kind of posed problems. I mean, people, they weren't getting into like a bidding war, but like I said, I didn't take the highest bidder. I had a guy, had a family and stuff, and a good job, and no real reason not to pick him, but he was up to 1,600. Was his bid, and that's what I was trying to tell everybody. The by that point, the few that I had whittled it down to, I was trying to tell them, like, look, like, I don't want a bidding war. Like, I don't want to. I mean, obviously, I'll take some of what they're giving me. I was willing to like move it up a bit, but I'm like, okay, like, no, we're not doing this like astronomical, crazy stuff. Like, no, I capped it off somewhere right there around the 1450 mark, I think. But then they just still kept going because there was a couple of them left in the running, and I'm kind of looking over applications, going back and forth, trying to do my due diligence on them. And in that time, I got them. Hey, have you made a decision? We're willing to do this. They were still kind of just upping it. And the one guy, like I said, was like 1,600. Which, at that point, if I can't pay it myself, right? Or it's hard for me to stomach, I guess is a better point to say. Then I don't care what you make. I look at somebody else like, if I can't stomach that. You know, like $1 million mansion, they rent out for like thousands and thousands, $10,000, $20,000. I don't know what rent on something like that is, but whatever it is, I know I can't afford that, right? So when I start seeing my investment get into like insanity levels, I'm like, whoa, because I don't want to rent to somebody, and then the first speed bump in the road, all of a sudden they can't pay the rent, and I got to find somebody else, and all this. Like I was trying to keep it reasonable, but that's what the rental market looks like, and that's because like what they've done to house prices and the interest rates, like people that would have probably bought are now scared to because of how high interest rates are. They feel like they missed the boat, so they go back to renting for a while, hoping that something's changed, but they're willing to pay a ton, to rent a house while they're waiting on finding one to buy, hopefully when interest rates drop back down. I mean, it's real interesting, and I feel like this is the new normal. Obviously, we still got to bottom out and then kind of like readjust, and we're waiting on those things to happen, but it's not, we're not going to see, $14 silver again. I don't think anytime soon. I really don't. Like, it's just, I feel like we kind of like locked in the level, and we're going to bounce around here and carry on. The same thing with stocks and stuff. I have a stock. I bought a lot of it. A lot. Right around like $80 a share. Like a bunch of them. Yeah, I was buying multiple buys, but somewhere in there it's 60 to 80, I think, was about the high. All right, Johnny, I appreciate you. I'll see you later. Actually, I'll probably run this up in a few myself, but I bought this stock, and it was a good stock, and it was doing well. And then everything tanked. COVID, everything else, crypto, all that. But this one stock, I looked at it the other day, because I've done, you only lose when you sell, hopefully. So, I haven't really sold a lot. I've actually been buying more on the way down, but I looked at it the other day, it's down to like 5 something a share. And my average buy price, I think I've got it down to like 60, maybe 50 something. Because I keep buying more to kind of dollar cost average and make it hurt less. But yeah, I mean, $80 stock, it's now valued at $5. So that's a hard pill to swallow. I got a bunch of those. I had one. I had to pay my brokerage because I forget what it did. It did some kind of reverse split so it could still stay solvent, kind of like consolidated back or whatever. And because of that, like, it was like a deficit in my account, and I had to pay twice, actually. 2 different occasions I had to pay to keep my stock. Otherwise, they were going to, sell what I did have and, take the rest for themselves. I mean, I don't mind it because it's all like extra, just like the silver. I mean, yes, I can cash this out. Yes, it is kind of like my own bank, but like, and I will do that if I ever need to. But I'm cash poor. I don't keep a whole lot on hand. I mean, that's variable and it's arguable what a lot is, but especially now with the way everything's going, it's safer to buy a gold Walking Liberty coin than to leave your money in the bank. I feel, inflation and everything's just gone so bad. it's a better bet. I mean, a lot of things are. I know guys that have like shoe collections, and just there's all these niches out there. I know a guy with a fucking oh, sorry, I shouldn't be cussing on here. I know a guy with a Magic the Gathering card collection that's probably worth $250,000. It's got to be because he stayed in it. He never stopped, and some of his friends never stopped. But as people would bow out, he was always right there. I'll buy your cards. I'll buy your cards. I'll buy your cards. And he just bought everybody's stuff when they got tired of it or wanted to get out. For, probably next to nothing in a lot of cases. And his collection is just, I don't even think about it. It's just, he has stuff that's like prototypes and, like stuff like limited runs and stuff they didn't make very long, or Gen 1 stuff, and just all kinds of, I can't even begin. He started showing me flip books like one day, and I was like, oh yeah, that's cool, that's a pretty big collection. He goes, collection? This is a binder. I got file cabinets full of these binders. Like, if you name it, I got it. I'm like, what? He's like, yeah. He's like, because like I said, he just bought everybody's stuff and was smart enough to stay in it. The same could be said about Pokemon cards and anything. It just depends on what you're into and what you want to collect. Andrew's Northwest Coins. Good evening. We are just BSing. I don't know how much longer I'll be on here. I've been on here for a couple hours. I don't know why. I looked through some quarters. Didn't find anything amazing. Showed off gold Standing Liberty and gold Mercdine that I picked up and finally arrived today. I went to Silvertown Mint and did some shopping there. Well, not the Mint, but they have a shop separate from the Mint. And I went there for the first time and kind of walked around there. They had a bunch of decent stuff. Got a reverse proof shield scent, which is actually a really, let me see, where is that thing? Where'd I throw it? I will show this again. Junkie, I know you're still on here. Okay, you tell me, Junkie, because you're more the coin guy, I suppose, than me. What do I do with this? I get, like, someone somewhere thinks it's cool to, like, leave in this, but should I send this out somewhere and get it encapsulated, graded? Like, what are you thinking I should do? There's the shield on the back. I know Potato Cam's not doing a lot of justice to it, but it's the reverse proof. It's the only shield scent that I've seen and I actually like. I'm sure even the proof I probably wouldn't like as much. This one with, I don't know. It's just better, I feel like. And I like it. So I actually bought 2 of those. Gave one to a friend. And I got one. So what would you do with it? Junkie, should I get it? Like, should I actually send... I mean, it seems like getting it graded is probably a waste of money. Well, it's 2019, right? Let's see. Let's play the game. You guys aren't doing anything. You're hanging out with me, and I appreciate that more than you know. I'll transition over here. I want to see what those are going for. I didn't even think about that. eBay. Sold listings. 2019 reverse proof set. That should get us there. Okay. There's 3 of them for $79. Oh, they were in sets? Oh, that's cool. Reverse proof sets, I guess. So here's one. They claim deep cameo, but whatever. It's the same thing I got. $23.95. That's inflated. Here's a graded one. Wonder if I can pull a scan off this. I think my phone died while I was on stream. It did. I can't scan it. Sold for $125. Graded. Sold for $125 graded. So theoretically, that's worth getting it graded. Sold for $99. Okay, so that's worth getting it graded. Here's, is that PCGS? 69 red deep cam. Somebody bought that for $40. That seems like a heck of a deal. $34.95. So why'd the one sell for $100? First, excuse me. Trying to figure what was special about this one and why it sold for $100. Because of the red. 70 red. 70 red. This one's $100, but that's NGC. So that's only a $25 difference, but I don't know. This is a 69. This one's a 69 red going for $40. 2018 Shield Scent Reverse Proof. Okay. Best offer accepted. They didn't even get $20 on that one. So that's hard to tell because most of these, in the $30 range, I don't feel like it's worth me getting it graded. But if, I don't know what the first W means. You know what I mean? Oh, first day of issue. First W. Okay, maybe that's what that means. So the other ones aren't worth, that sold. 3 pennies sold for $103.52. The regular Business Strike West Point, the Proof West Point, and the Reverse Proof West Point. Jeez. This is why I need to stay away from numismatics, man. This is, oh, the price of pennies is crazy. Oh, here's one. This sold November 5th. FDOI Lindau base sign. Maybe that's the designer, or maybe one of the mint, like the chief of the mint or something. But that went for $270. Oh my god. Yeah, so I don't know. I got to figure out what to do. I won't keep you guys on here while I'm shopping. But you get the idea. Oh god, I wasn't even showing you guys. Oh, I suck so bad. I didn't turn the display capture over. Or wait, yeah, I was. Yeah, I was showing you. Okay. Anyhow, thank you, Junkie, for the bless you. But yeah, I got to figure out what to do with that because I can't in good conscience leave it in that plastic in this paper. I just feel like there's too many options for something to happen to it. I can get more, but what's a grading fee? Do you know, Junkie? Do you get anything graded? If you grade it, probably will be to protect it, only unless you can hit a high grade. I mean, I don't know. I mean, 69 and 70 both look the same to me. On this modern stuff, they're so finicky, but like on the older stuff, they'll give them great grades when arguably they don't. I mean, they deserve it because of their age, you know, but I don't know. Show me like an 1880 Morgan that's MS-70. It probably doesn't exist. And if it does, it's in a museum somewhere. You know what I mean? So a whole bunch of Morgans that have issues and scratches and things get like an MS-64, which would never fly on a modern coin. You know, the slightest imperfection on a coin and you're back down to like AU, you know. I don't know. Anyhow, I would losing coins going back and forth. too much trouble. Oh, from yeah, yeah. I was gonna ask you that. Does Canada have like its own PCGS up there grading coins, or is that just an American thing? Because I know they grade everything, but like there's no like PCGS Canada and GC Canada that grades coins. I'll have to look into that. I know CAC is going to start grading, but that's only to their premium members that have already been long standing. Um, Anax, but I can't figure out the websites. It's like it seems to me like it's still kind of old school. Like you gotta fill out a form. I feel like I should just be able to like legit send some stuff in with some paperwork or whatever, um, and go from there. But they seem to make it like okay. So you guys have your own up there. That's interesting. But I'm guessing they're not as highly regarded as PCGS and NGC. Nobody seems to be. We'll see how CAC does now that they're entering the game the way they are. Um, I feel like that's gonna be interesting because they're the end all be all of super premium coins. So um, theoretically, I mean, they already have that going for them, so they should be a top notch grading company. Um, I don't know. Maybe Anax or somebody. I'll have to look it up and see. I know if you sign up for like a membership, you get like so many free submissions a year. And that's the only way I see some of these pennies and things getting graded is people using up their free submissions um, on coins like that, because otherwise it doesn't make any literal sense to send in, you know, in most cases like pennies and things to risk, not getting that investment back. Why would you, $10 penny, why would you pay like 30 or 40, $50 to get it graded? It's never going to be worth that. So anyway, at this point, I've been on for almost 2.5 hours. There's been a couple of people in and out. Junkie, I appreciate you more than you know. You're in Canada. That hurts. We will figure out something to do there. Aspect Flip, he grades a lot of coins with Anax and PCGS. Yeah, I'll ask him. If I bug him too much, I'd have him on the phone almost all day. Because there's always so many questions. There's always another topic. But, Junkie, don't forget, if you haven't already, send me an email about what you got. We'll see if we can figure it out. You've been here the whole time. You were the first person. You're not the last person. There's another person in here watching. But I'm going to throw you something there. It may not be a coin. Whatever I purchase, maybe I'll throw some extra money on that to add to my pack. And we'll do the giveaway that way, just because at the moment, me sending stuff across the border, I've done it before and I know how much of a pain it is. I have to go to the post office, fill out the declaration thing, and do a whole bunch of... I'll look into it, but for now, maybe I'll just throw you some cash for the giveaway for hanging out in the live stream. I'm going to try to do that on the live streams. I'm going to try to give away something at least every live stream. I've watched other people try to do it in their videos, and it's messy because you watch this video, you maybe comment, and then on the next video, we're giving something away. And I feel that detracts away from the actual video part of it, and you're just trying to get people to watch just to watch. I'm not saying I won't do giveaways on the videos themselves, but at least as far as now, I'm trying to build the base up and then work from there, and start trying to do the giveaways. But I think mostly it's probably going to be the live streams and things. And if I ever do decide to host like my own small auction, Obviously, I'll probably lose my shirt on that too, but we'll see. Anyhow, I'm gonna go ahead and kill it for the night. Kill this beer. Finish relaxing, and then I have a pretty open weekend. There's some stuff, so maybe I'll live stream some more throughout the weekend. And I appreciate everyone for hanging out. I do more than you know. Other than that, take care. Be safe out there, and I will talk to everybody later. Thanks for hanging out, mystery person number 2, who's been here for a while. Maybe it's Andrew, maybe it's not. I'm not sure, but either way, thank you. Whoever else is